Hello, Brandy here, and welcome to today's module, which is crafting your brand message. I am so excited about this module because this truly is deep foundational work that you need to do as a brand owner so that you'll have a very clear way of presenting yourself and staying on brand. What does on brand mean? It means that you've identified what your message is and the topics that you discuss, and for the most part, you stay on brand. Okay, so when you craft your brand message, it gives you the unique advantage of being able to attract and draw people in from, let's say, your elevator pitch when you meet people, when you're out networking, or the way that you introduce yourself when you become featured on different television shows, podcast shows. Let's say you get invited on telesummits, web summits, you name it. By you nailing your brand message, you'll have a consistent way of how you describe the way that you provide value, who you are, who you be, and who you serve. So when we talk about crafting your unique brand message, what we first need to figure out is what's the purpose of this brand. Now, if you have done the work in the first module, where we went ahead and identified what was your motivating purpose, that should line up with the work that we're about to do here. So what is the purpose of the brand? Do you have a mission statement? If you don't, you absolutely need to go ahead and create one at this point. Create a mission statement that talks about the purpose of the brand, the mission of the brand, and at this point, you can also introduce any type of social responsibility or any philanthropic type goals that you want to have for your business. Okay, so what is the purpose of the brand? Once we've created the purpose of the brand and we've written the overall mission statement, we want to identify what is the overall goals. What are the key cornerstones of your brand? Okay, what are core values that are absolutely important to you? It's just like when you worked at your job. Most employers are able to tell you what are the cornerstones of that culture of the company. What are the key principal components of your brand? Do you have any civic responsibility? Now, once you've identified your mission, the purpose, and your civic goals and social responsibilities, now I want you to take a step back and reflect on how you've been showing up as a brand so far. How have you been communicating? What type of social media posts have you been putting up until this point? And are those posts in alignment with the mission and the purpose of your brand? The reason why I ask this is because sometimes people post social media statuses just because they feel like they have to hit this quota of statuses every day. So they're like, oh, I haven't posted today. Let me just post something. Or, oh, I haven't posted in a couple weeks, which it happens to a lot of us. So what if you're not talking about anything, right? So you want to make sure that you're not posting for popularity, but impact. And that the majority of your posts, it's okay to go off brand. Everything does not have to be business, all about your brand, because people want to know that you're not a robot. They want to connect with the real you. But you should be on brand the majority of the time, because this is how people are going to start identifying you along with the brand, and they'll be able to know what it is that you do. The internet is a noisy place. If you aren't on a continual daily basis posting messages that are pertinent to your service or the product that you have, people will tune out what you're doing. They will forget that you are a business owner, and that's how you blend in. So think about how you're showing up. Get real about this. How are you showing up? Are you covering everything that you want to in your brand? Is the message that you're telling the message that you want to tell just for right now? Or is it the message that you want to tell going forward? Let me expound upon it a little bit. I know some people, when they start out, it's just about gaining momentum and just getting in action, and I'm all for that. I'll tell you that imperfect action beats perfect sitting around all day long. So you need to get in action, but you don't want to just tell a story right now, a message, just to make money. And I say this because sometimes we start off in brands in one way when you know deep down inside that it's time to shift. So, if you're watching this and maybe you started off, with some type of brand that you thought was safe, but you really want to step into more of an expert state, more of an authoritative state. You're ready to kick up and make some noise, but something in you is trapped. You're scared to tell their message, and you're like, oh, I'll tell it one day. Now is the time for you to go ahead and jump in and start telling a story that you really want to tell. What is the message that you really want to tell? Here's an example if I need to make this more clear. One of my first businesses online was a jewelry company, okay? And I love that company. I had a lot of fun doing it. But I knew that there was something deeper inside of me. And I wanted to step into actual business consulting. And I had a few people that told me, oh, it's not time for you to do that yet. You need to wait. You need to stay in the background a little bit. And so that's what I did. That was the story, that I was telling. It was more of a background type function, when the real me wanted to do the work that I'm doing right now. And it wasn't until I actually stepped into that I was able to start attracting those type of opportunities. So that's what I mean when I say, what is the story that you want to tell? Or are you playing a story that feels safe, that you feel like people won't look up and say, what does she think she's doing? Or who does she think that she is? Who cares what they think? If it's tied to your purpose, you don't need anyone's validation. You're already divinely validated for you to step into that. So think about how you're showing up. Are you showing up as a practice brand, one that's playing around with social media? Or are you standing up in the divine brand, in the divine business that you were called here to be? Think about that. This is not just something that you breeze through. This is going to be some soul searching. And for some of you, it's going to cause you to have to dig in deep and finally say, you know what? I think that I'm ready now. I may not be at a level 10, but I'm at a level 5. And if I'm at a level 5, then I'm equipped to teach people that are at level 3, 2, 1. Okay? So think about that. And once you've gotten clear about if you're actually standing in a message that you want to tell, or is it the message that just feels safe? Once you've figured out where you are with that, now it's time for you to get concise in your message. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you want to help? And who do you want to work with? This takes clarity. That's why I said you can't just rush through this. It takes clarity. You need to be crystal clear about who do you want to work with. And based on who you want to work with, how do you need to communicate with them? Because the language that you use, the tone that you use, the messaging that you use, that's who you will attract. So you want to be clear about this early on, about who do you want to work with, and craft your message around it. So let's get into this whole elevator pitch and how you can clearly convey your unique brand message in 30 seconds or less. I like to call it the blank statement, and it goes something like this. Use the who, what, and results formula. I help blank who want to blank so that they can blank. It's that simple. I help blank who want to blank so that they can blank. That tells you who you help, what you do, and the results that they get. So it's that simple. So my statement goes a little bit something like this, and you may have heard me say it before. I help female entrepreneurs who want to create influential brands that attract a steady stream of clients, media, and speaking opportunities. Now, if you're watching this, do not steal my statement because it's my statement. I'm giving it to you as an example, so don't you dare use it verbatim. But I'm using it as an example for you to see how this blank statement is very effective and you can get your thoughts out in a swift way. When I use this formula, when I teach my clients to use this formula, it switches up the game for them when they go out and network or when they go to conferences, because by you being able to say what it is that you do in that very succinct manner, you come across as very confident. It's appealing. It's interesting. And what happens is if someone has a need that you feel and you've already told them what you do, it's like, oh, that's what you do? I need you. You're the person I've been looking for. So that's why you want to come across with that statement, okay? So Seems simple, but it takes some thought. Once you nail this, you'll be able to leverage that statement in a network setting on your about page. The use for that statement is endless. So when it comes to your about page, don't make the about page your resume. Make it personal. Make your about page on your website, make it feel as if the person who's reading it, that they're speaking directly to you, that it's a conversation. And you don't want to make it seem like it's, too firm. Now, of course, you want to be taken professionally as a pro. You want to be looked at as an expert. But as a personal brand, people are coming to you because of your personality. So you want to exude your personality. You want to be able to merge your unique personality with your years of professionalism. So find some way to leverage your accomplishments, but still make it personal. So these are the different components that you need to think about and strategically plot out when it relates to your brand message. I hope that this module has been helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions about your unique brand message or the way you're coming across, or any additional elements that you think you may need to incorporate into your brand message. Look, you're going to be so happy that you have done this work up front. It's going to keep you clear and keep you on the road of clarity and client attractiveness. This has been Brandy Butler. I cannot wait to see you inside the next module.